Yeah.
Ha
Hey, oh, are you going?
ha. No,
Spit
I'm
the
just being
intro,
light
bro.
skinned as hell, man. I'm being light skinned as hell, man.
The lightest of
See
all
the
of us.
cut. Ha. What up? Now take it away, Patrick.
We're back with another. Fuck. We're back with another episode of the Tmsi podcast, episode number 6. Here with the illustrious host, the prettiest of pets. If you can't see, I'm back. I'm not
New
looking like
Let's go.
Dave East in the last of days. You know what I mean? So, but
This
yeah,
nigga looks like a substitute teacher, yo.
hey, I'm getting all the mamas at the PTO meeting.
Oh yeah, you're damn right you are.
You're damn
Only nigga at the PTO meeting.
right.
He makes sure no dad is
hey,
present.
hey, look, little Billy, he's doing good, but he told me he's been having a rough time out here. You know what I'm saying?
He could do better. Do you want me to come over and tutor him? You gotta do the thing again. Tutor him.
Nah. That's a dub right there.
Hey, finger guns still work, right? Like if you walk by a mirror or like you're on the street looking cool and you see someone, you're like,
We're here with Mr. Not So Funny. And
damn, yo, it's tough out here for a comic, but yo, it's your boy Hassan, Mr. Not So Light Skin, extra girl, not really. And we're back here with another episode number 6. I'm introducing our illustrious, the most executive of the executives, the finest of the executive producers.
Mr. I'm here so I don't get fined.
Mr. I'm here. Where's my money at?
Yeah, you know why I'm here.
Give it up for Stalin. Leave it.
We still don't know why.
Hey guys.
Always.
It's good to be back.
Mr. Hey, it's good to be here.
Hey, it's good to be
You
here.
can always suspect that. You see him on the street, he always give you that, hey, it's good to be here. Like, nigga, you're walking and you're not going anywhere. This is not here. Like,
Take
I
some
don't
shit
know,
off,
man.
go to the
I'm
rave.
just, people have always told me that it's like they're like you're too polite, and I'm like, what do you mean I'm too polite? I'm just being polite.
That's how
please,
I felt when I moved here. When I moved here from Ohio, and they're like, "Why are you saying like why are you so homey and this and that?" I'm like, I don't like.
Gave this
You
nigga
went
1
this-
week.
Yeah, like,
Manners.
Give
Like,
this nigga 1 week.
Yeah.
Get out my way.
yeah, I'm like, oh, would you like some water? Did you ask me if I would like some water?
No one's ever asked me that. Existential crisis. Just sit there like, what does that mean?
That's why, well, man, New York mindset is messed up. Anyway, what they made y'all say this week?
Yo, it was my mother effing birthday this week, man. Give it up for your boy, man. Let's go. Happy birthday to me.
Hey,
Yeah.
happy birthday,
I'm a-
Hassan.
Thank you.
What are
bro.
you? You finally 15?
I feel like I'm 15, bro, but I'm actually 25, man. It's crazy. I'm a
That's
quarter
what's up.
Oh,
century
you're
old.
25.
Yeah, bro, for real. I
Oh,
know I don't
damn.
look it, bro. Come on, not so light skin. I'm handsome as hell, man. It's luxurious. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing my birthday suit. I had to wear this for the pod. Got to show it, you know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna a tank top.
Wait.
I don't call it wife beater. It's a tank top.
Wait, you do know what a birthday suit means, right?
I know, but I'm
don't
taking the definition.
don't
and
do that on a
switching it.
pod, bro.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I think Zoom will block us if that was the case. Which is why you could only see the top.
Zoom gonna leak it.
But no more my favorite thrifted joint, you know, a little chain. I don't call this a wife beater. This is a tank top because I looked up the definition of wife beater.
Unit tank.
Yeah, the G unit tank. Come on, shout out to.
Got you.
I'm wearing Tim's at the bottom of this. You guys just can't see it. Gotta keep it G, you know. The Tim's are on, not laced. You know how it is. It's drooping on the floor. Big old pants. And yeah, that's what they made me. No, but on a more serious note, they made me realize that, yo, if you actually take power back into your hands, you could actually accomplish great things. For real. So shout out to all the people that went out and voted. You guys showed up for real. Like those lines were beautiful. And it's a scary sight for these politicians that thought, oh, yeah, we're like ignorant to the whole process of voting. We showed them like, yo, it's not a joke. If we want change, we'll go after it. We're not just protesting. were actually taking action, and it was a great thing. And shout out to Councilman Jamal Bowman for winning the district elections
Let's
of
go,
District
Jamal.
16. Yeah, we have a guy in Congress called Jamal. Think about it, a black ass name, bro. For me, that's great, bro. Cause like, yo, think about it though. He's sitting there working on these policies, and the nigga's name is Jamal. Jamal.
Yeah. Shout
Yeah.
out to
That's
AOC
big.
as well.
Yo,
Oh yeah.
yo, for
Oh,
real,
she smoked
AOC,
them.
AOC.
AOC,
AOC.
for real.
AOC.
I just want to say, when are your district meetings? Cause I think I voted for you, and if you like coffee or something, there's just a spot in District 14. I know that's where you're from.
Oh my god.
All right, so we moving on to styling.
AOC,
Hey,
AOC.
This man
Hassan, you could probably
hustle, bro.
get, who are they trying to
This
pitch as the
man.
next turn? You can probably get the MCC, that chick.
Okay, I am. AOC, forget it. I think that's a new one.
But I don't think you. She was living in the Trump Tower, so you
Nah, it's still AOC, bro. I'll find her,
know.
and we'll go get that coffee, and we'll talk about the district. You know what I'm saying? Is AOC married actually?
Ooh, I don't believe so.
Hey. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. All right. Not really, but what did it make you say this week, Patrick?
Oh man, about the same. I mean, it's refreshing to see everybody out there.
For real.
Even over here by me, like the line was super long. Like it was out the little gym door, around the corner, down the sidewalk. So it was great to see. I don't know who everyone was voting for, but it was just great to see everyone using their right to vote. And then even in Kentucky, where even against all odds, they were there, they waited it out, they were knocking on the door
Yo.
nonstop to get in.
Yeah.
They eventually got in, were able to cast their vote. So all of that's amazing to see. And hopefully there'll be a turn for the better come November.
Oh, I want to
So
add
we'll see what
something to
happens.
it though.
What up?
Just because you voted, that's not the end of it. Now we have to
Oh
hold these
yeah.
leaders we put into place accountable. So again, find your district leaders, brush up on their the policy, see what they're doing, follow up on it,
Mhm.
and make sure they know the reason why you voted for them. Make sure you're checking them if they're moving far from like the main reasons why you voted for them or their policies. There's community councils that are set up to hold these people accountable. So we all have to
We gotta hold them
be
accountable
involved.
too.
Yeah. Oh, for real. Again.
Everybody has to be, put the gun to their
Yeah.
back, so to speak.
No. you could put your vote to their back. See how I fixed that? Put your vote to their back, all right? No guns, please.
Metaphorically speaking.
Nah, I feel it, allegedly. Yo, Senor Stalin, what's good? What did make you say this week, man?
Yo, my bad. I was like searching something up.
I found Cortez's boyfriend, by the way. He's a white guy. So
This
you know there's a
guy,
chance for
this
me.
guy. This
I'm
guy.
mad at
I voted for you.
Yeah, I voted, man. It was pretty cool. I mean, I went really early because I'm an early bird. And I mean, my neighborhood is filled with like working families. So I guess everyone goes after work or before
Mm.
work, which is super early. But yeah, when I went, there was like a good amount of people,
Yeah.
mostly like older people. And yeah, it was good. Felt good to vote, and like seeing like the people that we wanted to win and that stood for like good values and principles was really heartwarming, like Jamal
Yeah.
and then AOC. So
Hey.
shout out to
For
the
real.
people.
Shout out to the people, man. We actually took the power back into our hands, and that's exactly what I was advocating for. It's beautiful.
yeah.
That was the best birthday present I could actually get. Like Jamal actually won. I was so happy, bro, for real. My mom sent me a poster of him, but I took it down because it's too big. But she was like, "Here's your birthday present." I'm like, "Wow." She just literally took his campaign poster and was like, "Huh? Oh, it's your birthday. There you go."
Just put it on your ceiling.
You have no artwork in your room, so it's a little something for you. actually, with regards to artwork, I've been looking at some Basquiat's, not the real ones, but just like replicas, and they're pretty
Uh-huh.
sick, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm just waiting to cop. I'm waiting to hit like the goal I told you that I set, and once that's hit, I'll actually just start copping like those things. And I didn't even shop for my birthday, bro. That took so much restraint because I'm like, yo, I really want these things,
You
but
ain't going nowhere.
go, man. You don't know
Yeah,
that. I
bro.
was out. I was
Save your
out, man.
money. Invest that.
Exactly.
Yo, I didn't tell you the stock dropped, bro. I got too selfish and it dropped like hard. I should
Yeah,
have sold
bro.
when it
I'm
peaked.
telling you, they have like no form of revenue.
Yeah,
You're just
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to
speculating.
see. I'm waiting to see what they do about it. If not, they might just dwindle and like Tesla's
Yeah.
gonna take them out. But damn, I should have sold it when it was almost 1K, man. I've learned my lesson. Once it goes up again, I'm just selling. I'm not keeping because it's very volatile. We're talking about
I
the
mean,
Nikola stock, by the way.
I would say just keep it like long term because you still have to
Mm,
see
Yeah.
like how they're gonna like fight against Tesla, and they're like the first competitor, I guess, when it comes to
yeah,
trucks. So
yeah.
yeah, I would say hold it long term. I mean,
Mm.
you never
Wait,
know.
so I was actually in Manhattan this week. I think on the 23rd, and yo, stuff is opening up, bro. Like in
Yeah.
around West Fourth, people are sitting outside eating.
Mm-hmm. I seen
All
it up
these
here.
all these restaurants are open. The parks are starting to open up. Uh, it's just getting back to normal, and it's scary because in reality, this virus isn't eradicated yet. It's still there.
I mean, it's not gonna be for. I think it was never the plan to have it be completely gone, just to have it at a manageable level.
Manageable scale.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's not even
but
here. It's the states that refuse to
to
follow
close,
some
yeah,
sort of
yeah. They're
protocol in the
closing
first
down
place.
now. Florida is in hot waters. They have 100,000 cases. A
Hey,
hundred
Yeah,
thousand.
Texas slowed down like its phases of opening
Yeah.
up. Like they're gonna
Apple,
revert
but they
back.
already
Apple's
had everything
Apple,
open, so it's like,
Apple's closing
Yeah,
everything up again. Like all your stores. I think they sent out an announcement saying they're gonna close everything again because yeah. So again, even with this new reopening phase, I'm not too sure of
I think once those states hit their peak,
peak and go
then
down
we'll go to a manageable
transition.
level, but not till
Hopefully,
after that.
hopefully, yeah,
But
because
they
it's
didn't want to be
crazy.
idiots in the first
Yeah,
place. It wouldn't have happened.
we both work in retail, so I'm looking at it like if a phase two comes and it's hard, then sheesh, bro.
I mean, it's gonna be hard for a lot of things because I mean, everywhere you look, unless it's I don't even know whatever your
Yeah,
industry is, like eventually you run out of
yeah, yeah.
stuff at
So
some point in time.
yeah.
So,
Hold on, but what do you guys think about the 4 day work week? I'm a
oh
big
yeah,
advocate of it. I want that, to be
yeah.
honest.
You don't need
You
the
don't even need
whole.
to be in the office, to be honest, bro.
I don't
It's
mind
just a
that because
place
it's like,
that makes you feel like you have to work.
well,
Because
not that. I
humans, our
like being
minds are
able
set.
to. I think you can have an office, but it shouldn't be set up like one because
Mm,
I'm a
an open
I'm a
space.
believer in like I like to get out of the house. I don't like to be in the
Yeah,
same
same.
space. I don't think it's good for your mental health. Maybe it's just me, but
No, no,
I like
it's
seeing
true.
sunlight, this and that,
Yeah.
different environments. Um, so I would still, if I had a company, I would still have like a smaller office, but probably just one. I wouldn't do, some of these places they
Mm.
make these giant buildings and
Buildings, yeah. I think they're starting
yeah,
to realize that money could have been used elsewhere in some form of like a productive way. Um,
I mean,
but
I
yeah,
think most of the
what's up?
time the companies do that's because it's a tax break.
Mm,
You
you're
can write
damn
that
right.
off.
You're damn right. Yeah, but now if people are working from home, then they could use. I'm not that big into taxes. You're the one with the degree and all that tax economic stuff, but if you work from home, it's possible that you could use your rent as like a, you could use your space as an office, and that also counts as like a tax break or work expense, right?
No, that's only if you have
hmm
if you're an
Your own
independent
business.
contractor, yeah,
Oh,
and you have an
yeah.
LLC. But if you
I
like a
mean,
corporation, then
yeah.
they're not paying for the rent, so they can't write it off, and you can't either.
Okay. All right. So guys, just start a
hey, look,
company.
they'll
Just start
find
a
a way.
company.
They'll
They'll
find a way to get
they'll find
this.
a way to find a way. They always do actually. But 4-day work week could be lit though. Imagine just after Thursday, you're like, okay, I have
Wednesday should be off. Like a nice
Wednesday.
break in the middle of the week.
Nah, the
Nah,
people will be
Fridays, bro.
mad lazy, bro. You're gonna have everybody coming into work on Thursday, freaking high, drunk as hell.
You already do now. So what's the what's the difference?
Imagine though, like after Thursday night, you could go out because Friday is there, the Saturday
Bro, you
and
can
the
go out
Sunday.
any night. It don't matter.
Nah, on the Monday night is just weird.
Whatever.
It's the psyche of it. But yeah, 4-day work week. Let's get that passed. If there's a law, I'm down. We'll go out there and vote for it again. Or like make it a thing, you know.
I think it would just have to be something that changes
Like
altogether.
yeah.
So,
I mean, I think the offices will start to take notice because a lot of my friends that work in corporate are starting to go back, but there's only a few of them at a time. So
mhm.
they'll have like 3 people in there on like a Monday and then another 3. So I'm like, if you're doing all of this, come on, just cut it short. Maybe show up to work a bit early instead of 9, 8, and leave at 6, and then that's it. Like, this summer, like, what's up?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think it also depends on the industry as well.
Oh yeah.
True.
No, what I'm saying is it's not applied to both me and Patrick at all because they'll they'll have us working an 8-day work week. If that was the case.
I'm sure all these places will want people working that long. So
Yeah, for real.
all right, well,
But
what we
yeah.
talking about today?
What are we talking about today? I don't know. I didn't get the memo.
This
Nah.
Oh shit.
Sir,
No, I'm
excuse me,
kidding. I'm
Stalin.
kidding. I'm kidding.
He starts scratching his head like, yeah,
We
some
all-
topic.
Well,
Well, I think it's a topic. I I think we already have the title of this week's topic is "Who Gonna Stop Me," and in this episode, we're just gonna discuss what we have done that serves us, getting in our own way of life, our creativity, and the roadblocks that come with it. What do you think about it? How do you dissect it? Because you also give a lot of insight into this topic prior to the recording of this podcast.
who?
You, nigga. I'm looking directly at him. He's just like, who?
I can't. You just looking in the camera. You can.
Yeah, you can't tell who you're looking
Yeah.
at.
My bad. Damn.
Just
I was making eye contact and everything. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, who's he talking to? I'm like,
that sounds like someone pops. Oh, so you don't know I'm looking at you?
word? How does this work again?
Hey, boy. Nah, I think that honestly, like, there's so much that we don't realize that's happening to us that affects whatever, like our journey, our path. So I guess the first thing we're gonna talk about is like just insecurities. I think when you're creative, one of the hardest things to do is to not compare or to not strive for something else. And even in everyday life, we have to deal with that as well. So if you're using social media, it could be, you know, maybe Stalin has a favorite filmmaker and he's like, damn, like, and he keeps that image in his head. Or whatever, maybe I have a favorite, someone that creates clothing or art, and I keep looking at that person. I keep thinking I need to be better than them. I need to do stuff better than them. And I feel like those things, like if your work doesn't equate to that each time, you feel a little down. Yeah, I mean, which you shouldn't. But I feel like those are the things that get in our way and it caps our creativity because we're only trying to strive to hear versus it's just open and like wherever you land, you land. And I feel like that's where a lot of creatives lose their way in my personal view, because you can't strive to be someone else. Like, of course, you might want to be on their level. Being on their level is different than being them. So it just, you even see it. I'm a big sports fan. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But how he strived to be Michael Jordan, like pretty much on the court, but never got there.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
came really close, but
I
never
mean, how many rings did he go with? I think 5, right? Yeah.
5 of them
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the legacy, the story of Jordan is oh God, oh
Mm.
you know what I'm saying?
Now I think there's a
He would
Kobe
have beat
documentary
Jesus
coming up.
1-on-1. You
Why
know what I'm
not
saying? Like
chill?
you know how they
Jesus gonna
be
block his ass.
yeah.
F out of here. In the
Look,
rope too, and
look, you
no
know
shoes. The freaking
he was
Jesus sandals too.
he was playing the Avengers 1-on-5 and he dunked on the Hulk and he crossed Iron Man and he stopped
He
Thor's lightning all
decimated
the way to
Thanos.
the yeah. Like I'm like, hold up, like what
Nigga crossed over
the
Thanos.
he saved everybody. Nah, but it's like, you know, you have to. I feel like those are some of the things that get built in. Even as a kid, like I remember going to art classes and there would be maybe kids or teenagers that were older than myself. And I would say, you know, I want to replicate what they're doing. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Oh
And
yeah,
then I feel
yeah,
like those make, I don't think any idea at this point can be 100% original just because of all the stuff that's been
yeah,
created and everything that
dude.
we've seen.
Tell you about
But
it.
yeah, but it's like, you know, you can't try to just do that one thing.
Yeah.
I think one thing that you could do is try to do something better, and you're doing it your
Or,
own way.
or just one up yourself every single time.
Yeah.
Compare yourself your work to your previous work and see the progress. Because it's very big, especially with I think Stalin could attest to this as well with the photography, film industry, and just in general the creative form of industry. It's it's really easy to get motivated by someone's work because of social media or get inspired by someone's work, but intrinsically you're subliminally comparing yourself to them, which
Mhm.
is why I'm not a big advocate of social media. Because I remember when I first started my brand, Chale, right? I have these people I look up to that I watch their interviews, I listen to the podcast. Pierre Morse is one of them, Kirby Jean, there's this guy also. There's this white boy. I think RCA. That's the name of his brand. Reese Cooper. Reese
Okay.
Cooper. I mess with his stuff. But again, every time I go on their pages, they're always working. They're always putting stuff out there. But
Yeah.
in actuality, they're not seen behind the scenes of the process. These people have big teams. They're like actual companies.
Exactly.
So it's easy for them to produce this thing as compared to a one guy corporation who's probably still working on his business plan and dealing with the ins and out of the business. So it's a big thing when it comes to comparing yourself to other people. I'll say just take a break, man. Give yourself a break. This past 2 weeks actually, I haven't really done anything creative. I've sort of switched focus to health. I think I've told you about this. I spent a lot of time like learning about calisthenic moves.
Mhm.
Um, I started learning how to do the frog stand. Like it's actually getting better. I could hold it. Yeah, I could hold it for I
What you
think
mean
three,
with
four seconds.
your elbow on your
Hands,
knees?
yeah, and yeah.
Oh
Could
yeah,
hold it for 3, 4 seconds.
that's it.
Dude, I'm heavy, bro. I might not look like it, but I'm almost 190
Balance.
pounds. Yeah. So I'm learning to do that. I'm learning to do the pivot where you put your hand on the floor and raise your legs. This is totally different from what I'm interested in. My interest is fashion, photography, creative
Oh yeah,
directing.
but even then, like you could look at something. You might
Yeah.
look at what's that one dude, Frank Madrano or
Yeah.
whatever. You
Now I
might
look
look
at
at
this
him.
Nigerian guy on YouTube and he inspires
Yeah,
me a lot.
but I'm saying like you might be like, damn, why can't I can't
Oh
do
no.
this or that. Well, I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
saying you won't, but
Yeah.
people get into that mindset
Mm-hmm.
like they want to do stuff, but it's like it's a process, and
Mm-hmm.
some people got to realize like you might never be able to do that one thing that that person does, no matter
But
how
you could do
hard you
something else,
practice.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you can find your own twist to it. But like what I was saying was that again, just taking that break just gave me a freedom of like free my mind because the
Hmm.
fashion thing just started to get like really clustered, especially with things outside of my control, like production, um, just designing when it's not coming because I've been cooped up. Again, I get inspiration from outside, so I just switched it. I went really hard to work and I started running, started eating well. Like even bought this damn protein thing. I'm about to show it on camera. This thing.
Show
So I
the
started like,
corner.
yeah, no, it's right next to my bed. But
Now say you show the corner of the bottle.
I'm not showing the name. They didn't pay me enough. But just taking that into consideration and like feeling great about myself every day. And I think over time, in about 2 weeks, once you start to get inspired by the progress, because we're working out, you can see progress quickly.
Oh yeah.
Once you get inspired with the progress, it'll lead into other things. Now when you sit down and you feel great, you could actually open up your brain, and those roadblocks you can find solutions to it. So again, with the whole comparison thing, just take a break, man. Honestly, take a break when you get it. And I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine this week, on, I think, yeah, it was on Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And where she was also complaining about kind of feeling very depressed or cooped up because she has so much time and she doesn't know what to dedicate it to. And I was like, this makes sense, because what do most people, most millennials strive for? We strive for financial freedom, right? Our goal is to get to a place where we don't have to be a part of the rat race, so we could do something we love. But in
Hmm.
actuality, the quarantine could be a substitute for that. Think about it. If you're lucky enough to be on unemployment, or you're lucky enough to work from home, you do have this free time allocated to
Exactly.
yourself with no other responsibilities. And that's the same situation you're probably gonna be in if you were financially independent. Now
Hmm.
is the time to actually sit down and ask yourself, okay, put yourself in that shoes. I'm financially independent now. What do I love? What was it? Was that one thing I always wanted to do? Or was that one thing I was always striving for? Always saying,
Sorry,
hey, if I
sorry. The borders is cut off. So
oh, I mean, not traveling, but the,
I'm
I
playing
mean, hey,
with
if
you.
you're a travel person, you could still
About to be
look at
stranded.
videos and stuff, yeah, or just like go to parts of New York City you've never been in. Take a bike ride it somewhere else, just explore. You can still walk around, just socially do it while you're socially distant. It depends on what you like. If you're a photographer, this is the time. There's no one outside. The city's beautiful. It's open. You could go take pictures. You could go get inspired. So I think just giving yourself the time to actually think about what you like, and learning to love the process instead of the result is big to overcoming these roadblocks. Again, and knowing when to just push something aside when it starts to become like work or stress. Just saying, okay, I need a break from this. I need to go recoup, get my mind right, and come back and go at this with full force. That's how I see it, and that's how I think. That's how I personally beat roadblocks. I don't push the creativity. Remember my video where I spent like a whole week editing
Yeah.
it, and like this damn computer won't let me. At some point, I was like, I'm done. This will not work. I spent way too much time on this, and every single time it's just not
And
working.
you're
So
gonna have the video still, so
yeah,
it's not like it's
it's still
going
there. I'm
anywhere.
just waiting
Yeah.
to get a new computer. So it's just something like that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this, darling?
Well, I would say that not just pertaining to creativity, but just insecurities in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh, I didn't even talk about insecurities, but go ahead.
yeah, it's not just about like if you're insecure about creating, but it's like you can be insecure about a lot of things. And I think it just comes down to like the individual. And I'm gonna like everything I'm gonna say is like from my perspective and my opinion and from what I've read
Yeah.
and like my
Yeah.
way of going and from talking to other people. So perhaps not like people that are listening, it might not correlate to you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that the certain things that I am gonna say is something that like everyone can kind of take out of, and it'll be like something that like people that are kind of happy and doing what they want are going to tell you. So I feel like the first thing that you always have to do is really be introspective. Like I feel like a lot of people's problems, especially like a lot of the reasons why people can't be alone, it's like, you know, because they can't be by themselves. They can't be alone in silence. And there was like this famous Pascal quote. Hold up.
Pascal, who?
Hold up. I'm just looking it up. Oh yeah, he said,
We need an intern to look these stuff up.
all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quiet in a room alone. He was a French philosopher,
Mm,
which is Blaise Pascal, which is really true. And I feel like a lot of people like don't really understand their values and principles. Like, you know, there are some universal values, you know, and principles saying like, you know, thou shalt not kill, like, you know, that's like,
oh
you know,
yeah,
like anywhere you go, like, you know, murder is wrong, you know, but I feel like in order to like really feel happy or like go towards the path that you want to, you really got to check and see what is that you really value, what are your principles, and like what is your personal mission statement. You know, because yeah, I can be a filmmaker, you know, but there's millions of filmmakers and everyone
yeah,
has their own vision. but I have to, like, for me, it's like I have to realize what is my end goal for that and why am I doing this? Is it living up to my values and principles, and is it worthwhile going for?
Yeah.
Because if it is worthwhile and it goes with my principles and values and I'm going towards it, like the journey is going to be fine, you know?
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something that doesn't correlate with the values and principles and I'm working a job that I hate and it's not building towards what I want, then of course I'm going to be unhappy, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where insecurity starts to stem from, because it's like you're not really doing what you want to, and you kind of
Yeah.
start to doubt yourself. And you really have to look inside you and like really see that, you know, you have potentiality, you know, you have potential, and that you yourself are a miracle of this universe. Like you really start to have seeing yourself as having the ability to do something, you know. And I feel
Okay.
like
So
that's the
that
first
actually
step.
brings up a good question. Um, you said something about insecurity in your previous statement. On Can you repeat that again? Prior to saying to the potential thing, it brought up a question.
Oh, it's like if you're not living up to like your values and stuff,
Yeah.
it's like where insecurities are going to start stemming from, because you're not really doing what you should be doing or you feel like
Yeah.
you should be doing. You know, and it's like when you feel like you're not in control, it's like when you're really, really like overwhelmed, you know.
Yeah.
Like humans, like we want order. Like technically, like that's why we have all these structures. That's why we have a 9 to 5. That's why like we have a home. That's why we have advanced so much. That's why we are in this, I'm in this apartment in this room rather than being in the wild, you know, because I want order from the
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah.
And if there is too much chaos, it'll be overwhelming. So I feel like, you know, I feel like the first step is always like starting to like really look upon yourself, and then just like taking that journey, taking that leap of faith, you know, and
Mm,
just really, really trying to find out like what is that you want to do, what are your values and principles,
Core
and working
values.
towards
yeah.
that. And I'm not just talking about just like job wise or like career wise, but also like relationship wise, like
It applies to
creativity
everything.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the roles that you
Yeah.
play, and it's like seeing it that way. And like a great book that touches upon that is like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Sean
Mm,
Covey, you know. And he really put those things into perspective for me, that book. And it's like, you know, I wrote my own personal mission statement and like the roles that I play in life and like what I want, the goals that I want for each of those roles, and to try and live by that, you know. And
interesting.
maybe like, you know, if financial freedom is really like your ultimate goal, like see why, like like
Yeah. Why
financial
do you want
freedom is
that?
different. Yeah, financial freedom is different for everyone. You know, some people
Yeah.
want $50 million, other people are comfortable with 1 million. But it's
Mm,
like behind that choice, it's like what's the real reason, and is it
yeah.
worth going for? Because if you really want that, then you would be going for it. You know, if
Like
it
for real.
really,
Yeah.
it
If
goes with
it's
your
really,
values.
and I
You know,
think internally you're kind of telling yourself uh you're kind of giving yourself hints as to like whether that plays as part of your values or not. Let's say you're at a job where every morning you go in, you're kind of like sighing and you're like, "Ah, here we go again." Intrinsically, you feel that you do not belong here, and you feel like you don't
yeah,
want to do this job. But
like you
But you
literally
know
feel it
what?
like in your soul, your body.
mm-hmm.
I feel
And I
like
think you should
what's
listen to yourself a
go
lot
ahead,
more.
go ahead.
Yeah. Like when you said that, Stalin, about the ethos or the mission statement, it resonated with me because with me, whenever I'm looking at art or products or companies, I'm always looking at the story they're trying to tell instead of the product. And I think that's what speaks to me the most. Whenever I give advice to brands or friends of mine who are creative and ask for help, even within styling, I always tell them, what are you trying to project? What story are you trying to, what is like, what are you trying to tell? You know, and once you have that down, I think if the story or the message resonates with someone, then it'll be easier to pitch, not even pitch the product will sell itself because they understand the reason why you're pushing that out there. And I think that applies to us as human beings as well. If you have your own set of values, and if you're doing something that goes against it intrinsically, again, it feels off. And whenever you start to feel that, have that feeling of, why am I doing this? Like, I really don't like this, or you just to feel weird about something, you should ask yourself, is this really, really what I want? Or is this something society or something that's extrinsic, something that I've seen someone do and I think maybe it's the right thing for me?
But you know what? I think it's also, and Stalin, you brought up a good point. I'm one of these people that look at relationship, it's a business as well. But if
This
you think
nigga.
about no, listen. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, like
if
yeah,
you
it kind
you
of
think,
is, you know.
yeah, if you think
I
about it,
mean, I
like,
wouldn't know. I've been single for ages.
but what about your baby moms though?
Oh, that's a long story,
Hey, yo,
man.
shout out to her,
Shout out to baby
holding
mom.
it
She
down.
even wished me a birthday. She even wished me a happy birthday. It's kind of sad, but
Oh,
whatever.
damn, she
Yeah,
done moved on.
that's fine. I
She
moved on
found someone
too.
with another Hawaiian shirt.
Nah, no one beats this, bro. This has wooden buttons, bro. This is literally a vintage one.
You made it yourself. Got you.
Nah, whenever I wear, it, you know how many compliments I get. That's why I keep it in the tuck, bro.
It's just you complimenting yourself with that shit.
Finger guns. Who's the man?
Come on,
Nah,
come
but
on.
continue. Come on. Let me
Nah,
hear
but
it.
they be like, all right, shirt's all right, man.
This nigga crazy. Why is he doing this in the restaurant?
Nah, but I feel like what people are beginning to realize is that going with these companies, like being in a house, I don't know, whatever people's position is at this current moment, but
Yeah.
you realize like a lot of these companies are more the same than they are different, no matter like what industry you go to. What I mean by that is just kind of like the structure of it. So it's just like, okay, I go, all right, we like fashion. If I go to this brand, it's probably gonna be somewhat the same as this brand. If I go to that brand, all that's really different is maybe
The
the
plans and the business plans and like
how you perceive the brand. Like, is it a luxury brand? Is it this? Is it that?
the
But
heritage of it as well.
yeah, but when you go inside, you go and look at the, you know, who's there
Collection.
corporately, who's this, who's
Oh
that,
yeah.
what's this. Hell, even some of that. The collection might be the same as when you go to this place or that place. And I say like the same thing in relationships. I feel like people are always seeking something. And to Stalin's point, I feel like it's whatever is inside that you want. So again, like even with me, like with my girl, like I saying, I was telling her like this is my plan. And like I have those open conversations because like if you don't fit in with the plan, you don't fit in with the plan. You know what I mean? And people just gotta be honest. I feel like a lot of us aren't honest with
But
ourselves.
she's right back there. Chill. I'm kidding.
I've already had to talk.
Nah,
But
chill.
but it's like, you know, we're seeking this. And I feel like some people they do seek that comfort in knowing, okay, I have a 9 to 5 and they're good with that. They just wanted to they want to be able to feel whatever it is that they want to feel
Structure
in
or
in
some
that
form of thing. Yeah.
place. Yeah. And some people want to feel free. Like I'm someone, I came up alone. So right now, like I don't like being in the house, but I can do it. But I do want that financial freedom. I'm doing things. I set goals for myself
Yeah.
to make sure that can happen. But I feel like a lot of people are seeking something that they're not gonna find. Because if you realize this, right? People go from relationship to relationship to
Yeah. I
relationship
don't
to
understand how that
relationship.
happens.
It's
So
only I feel like it's only because there's something inside of you that you haven't
you haven't.
addressed,
Yeah.
or some sort of thing that you need to solve. Because
And
some
you're
people like,
putting it on other people
yeah, like,
or
and you might not
wanting to find
realize it.
solace in other people.
You might not realize it. And then people do the same thing when they go to a company, like, oh, I just want to feel this or that. And they realize, like, all right, company after company, like, it's not working. Why? Because
Yeah.
it's something inside of yourself.
Mm.
Or it's just a shitty company, one or two. I don't
Nah, but
know.
how many crappy companies could there be? I mean, I'm not gonna underestimate it, but you're right. I think people need to address themselves. Like, sit down and ask yourself, what do I want, or why am I in this rat race? What am I getting out of this? What's the ultimate goal?
Hmm.
Or because a lot of people also just tend to look at other people's goals and just make it theirs as well. Like when people read motivational books or see motivational stuff, like when you watch those motivational videos on YouTube, there's this guy running, working out. You're like, oh, I want to start running too. Oh, I want to start working out. But you should ask yourself, do you really want to? Is that what you want? Do you want? Is that what you want? You can find other ways to be healthy and like take care of yourself. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be that, and we're very impressionable, and that's why again, I hate to use social media as an excuse, but that's why a platform like Instagram is still very influential to this day because of how impressionable people are. That's the main reason why influencers are a thing. Because if you see somebody wearing something in your mind, you're like, oh, that they're so cool. I want to be like them. It's not necessarily the item, it's the emotion that comes with it. And it's a big thing. I think people just look at social media without without the connection to the emotional response it elicits from you. Like
Man,
even
you
if
know
you're
why
scrolling,
people looking at them influences.
why? Oh, hey, either way, they're making money off of how you feel. It's still a response. There's still like a reaction going on from you seeing it to it like settling down and like registering in your brain. And if people start to see it as that, I think it'll it'll make sense to like why other people hate social, not hate, but decide to take breaks from it. And if have you ever like sat down and had a conversation about something and then you go and open Instagram and the first ad you see is literally what you were just talking about?
Yeah, I mean, like
Sometimes.
these algorithms are made to like know you better than you know yourself. Like,
That's scary.
I mean, it's only logically speaking, like humans can be very predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are looking at like just patterns and trends when you're clicking. Like literally they're
Mm,
getting to know you because the reason you're liking that is because one, you relate to it, two, like you're interested in it. So of
yeah.
course, like they start seeing similarities of what you're liking. And of course, like this is like a logical algorithm that's like putting everything, seeing these patterns together, and it's like, oh, this is how we're gonna target based on this other thing.
Mm,
Like humans are not as like, yeah, we're very intellectual beings, but at the same time we're very like we are what our habits are pretty much. And like
True.
that's how this is all like based on. Because there was this like a funny thing. It's like after you have like more than 20 likes on Facebook, like the algorithm pretty much knows you better than you know yourself.
yikes. That's why I don't use
Yeah.
Facebook, bro. I haven't touched that thing in ages.
You do know that Facebook owns
Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram, right?
No, I know
Yeah.
Facebook
So
owns Instagram, Facebook owns Jiffy's, Facebook owns
owns WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. They recently just purchased another platform. Or they were trying to purchase another platform. And I wouldn't be surprised if Facebook buys TikTok as well. And I'm not
Nah,
even too
TikTok is definitely not never gonna be bought. They're a
uh,
Chinese company, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
They're not
but
gonna give that up.
All it's gonna
yeah.
happen, I feel like Instagram gonna like do something that you can pretty much replicate what you can do on there.
TikTok. But
And
then with
then they do the
TikTok,
same thing
yeah,
with
music
Snapchat,
was not. Oh, yeah, they
basically.
took
Yeah.
Snapchat away. They
What
took
they did
Snap.
that they did that with Vine. That's why Vine died.
Yeah.
Oh, because
Before it
they
was only
started
photo.
IG videos. Yeah,
Yeah.
they started IG videos, and then everybody dipped. But that's the thing. All these things are just they're fickle. You know what I'm saying? And I think if people actually start thinking about why they're feeling a specific way, I think it all comes down to it'll point directly to something. It could be someone in your life, or it could be yourself, or it could be the person you're looking at. Like sometimes when I open Instagram, I'm like, okay, this is too much. How do people do this every day? And then I just end up deleting the app, like, and go about my day. Like go sit in the
Mhm.
park and like watch some birds or something. To a lot of people that's boring, but I genuinely find
You better
you
be
know
careful out there. You know they call the police on us
bird
for
watching.
the bird watching. You'll be
That's
out
like
there
being in the
like
Bronx, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's because you're doing things that you truly value and like align with your principles. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't really I feel like a lot of people, the reason they're like so anxious or they're like so depressed or like are kind of lost is because there's too much going on
Going on
here.
there, and you need to
Like there's
chill.
like there's too many like thoughts, and you have to realize that like in a sense you are not your thoughts. Like your your thoughts are like a tool for like logical processing, to
Yeah.
survive in this world and other things. But you are not necessarily them because your brain is always going to be in like survival mode and always going to be looking at things as like a danger. But you got to
yo,
realize that we are not like that.
I got a this is quote. It speaks to what you were saying, style. Like with people, I feel like we live in our minds and then on these devices all the time. Like we have to like get the fuck out of there. Like, you
Yeah.
know, what's that?
Lock your
Alan
phone up.
Watts. It says a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions.
Yeah, and it's so true, and it's like that's a beautiful quote and perfectly said, and it's like a lot of people, the reason why all these companies and these brands make so much money, and like especially social media is so powerful, is because it takes us away from like all these bad thoughts, and it's like a distraction, you know. But it's like it's really scary for people to sit down and go through these thoughts and like try to figure out if they're important or not, you know. That's why meditation, like I'm gonna be
Big
like
advocate of it.
to the day that like we stop this podcast or it continues forever, like I'm gonna tell people like meditate, because one thing meditate teaches you, it gives you I read this funny quote. It was like, you know what meditation gave me? It gave me nothing, which is beautiful,
Exactly.
because it's true. It's like you're literally
Yeah.
sitting by yourself and you're looking at like your mind and listening. You're not judging. You're just hearing and listening, and you start to see that certain thoughts that you really worry about don't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Like if you have control over them, then do something about it.
Mhm.
If you don't, then it shouldn't even be in your brain, in your brain, you know.
Yeah.
Like as
And
long as you can influence something, then you have control over it. If you can't,
for
cannot. And it's like you start to slowly learn how to control that and be self-aware and become more present in the moment. And I feel like that's
that's
usually
something
like
that's
the first
missing.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Un-
something that's missing. Like you really need to like really like look at your internal mind and like really start to listen to yourself, and
On
not
that
just your
note,
conscious mind,
yeah,
but
we
your
should
subconscious
actually
mind.
get like a meditation expert on this podcast one of these days, or
That'd be
someone
dope.
that's big on mindfulness. So maybe in the
Oh, I
beginning
know.
we
When
could
they
all
open
meditate.
back up, who the monks that be in
Ah,
the orange and yellow?
they're trying to they'll still come on the podcast and try to sell you those bracelets.
Nah,
Like yeah. Nah,
dude
that's how
gave
you
me
meditate. Three
no,
three
no. The one
dollars,
time,
man, and put on your arm.
no. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about at Union Square. They be gathered. It be like a big old crowd. They
Oh
be in the
yeah.
whole. The dude gave me a book one time. I'm like, I don't know if I should read this.
Mm.
I'm like, I don't know.
Nah, but
No.
again, meditation. Again, I think I find it really interesting, but it's something you have to train yourself to do, because I started off really great last week or 2 weeks ago. I was going every day, and then as like time progressed, my sleeping pattern just got disrupted, and then I'll just wake up and I'm like, okay, let me just go about my day. And it takes a lot for me to sit down and say, okay, let me dedicate 15 minutes to sitting down, doing nothing, and just breathing. So it's something that's important. I like it, and I want us to actually. I had thought about this episode a while ago. So
What?
if we can find someone that is big on mindfulness and has all the tips and tricks to calm this thing down and have you be present, we should bring them on
I
and have
mean,
them talk about it.
I can explain how I got into it, and how like I've been like this whole month I've like literally just been meditating every day.
Yeah, how did you get into it? What introduced you to
What did you
meditation?
stumble upon?
I was
So
walking
like
one day and a mango fell on my head, and I was like, aha.
What was the
nah,
existential crisis that
Gravity.
drove you to?
I mean, I can go on a lot of existential rants. Like I would like blow your mind about the
The
meaningless of life and
20
how we
hours
have to create
later, he's still
purpose.
going. It's just the
Yeah.
headphone stuck here.
I don't know. I mean, like when meditation was something I was always interested in, and I feel like, I mean, after this, like we should definitely go back to topic, but I feel like it's very
Yeah.
important. Uh, I feel like people have been doing this for thousands of years, right? In like different civilizations. And
Mhm.
if it started like so long ago and it's still present and like today, and they were doing it before, like different kinds of meditation too. And in a sense, prayer is also a form of meditation,
Oh yeah,
because it's
for
just
real.
yourself and your thoughts, you know. But so I got really interested, and I started looking more into like Tibetan Buddhism, and I just started trying it. And I've always been a person that like one of my biggest flaws and like things that I always did was overthinking. So that's one thing I became self-aware of. It's like one of the things that always held me back was overthinking things. And it's like, it's okay, it's great to think and be logical, but at a certain point you have to know when to stop,
Yeah.
because the
True.
overthinking is going to stop you from taking action. And in this life, what really matters is action. Like you could have the greatest idea, but if you don't act upon it, then that's all it's going to be. It's nothing. It's just an idea in your head. So I don't know. I started like one day with just like 2 minutes. So I do 2 minutes every day for a week. As soon as I wake up, like just like chill for a bit, then go on the floor and just like
Is that
meditate.
why you came to work late most of the time?
No, I barely came late.
Nah, nah.
Now you, on the other hand,
I was meditating too.
You see, bro, that's what we call projecting.
I was meditating too. Leave me alone.
No, but then it's like just 2 minutes every day. Then the next week, 5 minutes every day. Then the next week, 8 minutes every day. Then the next week, 10 minutes every day. And now I'm up to 12 minutes every day. And then starting Monday, I'm going to start 15 minutes every day. So it's
That's
like
good.
building that habit, and it's like slowly and slowly. And it's like, it's not about the quantity of minutes, but the quality. So 2 minutes is like, it's going to be hard in the beginning. And it's like, don't be judgmental. Like, just stand there and listen and like focus on your
Oh yeah.
breathing. And if you catch yourself like going away, come back. But
Yeah.
it'll teach you to be more in control of your thoughts and like your self-awareness, which I feel like is very important if you want to get over like certain insecurities, because behind every insecurity and behind every like action and like reaction, there is a reason, but you just have to be aware of that, you know? And like, that's the first step to like changing it. Because if you see like the actual cataclysm and the cause of that, then now you have like the perfect idea of like what you have to do, what you have to work on, like what habit or like what like traumatic experience you have behind that you have
Yeah.
to let go.
I think it exposes what's already there. It just uncovers it. And
Yeah.
once you like, again, a lot of us deal with crazy traumas that we haven't addressed. Some of the things that happen to us daily is not normal. Some of the things that has happened to us is definitely not normal, and we have to take that into consideration. Like one thing I started doing was I think I started therapy about like 2 weeks ago, and it's just once a week, just talking to like the therapist, because I noticed that at some point I started having these like form of like emotions that were normal to me. They were just very new, and my doctor asked me how I was feeling, and I had to be honest and tell her like, yo, sometimes I have these thoughts. I don't know if this is normal, and she was like,
Mhm.
it's definitely not normal, and you have to talk to somebody about it. And she helped me find a therapist, and so far so good. But like that coupled with a meditation, my form of meditation I do comes from like this app. I'm not gonna mention their name, but again, I I don't want us to be dependent on apps to meditate. I just use it as a tool to
You ain't
get
need
me in the process, and
sit in a
then
dark room or
yeah,
wherever. I don't know, in the
Yeah.
park. That's
not
how
actually
I.
really.
When I
Yeah,
was younger, that's what I would do. I would just turn off all the lights and just sit there. I wouldn't even. I guess it'd be my own form and just breathe. And some
breathe.
people
Yeah,
like. I feel like we're
weirdo
trained
little
to
kid.
feel like, oh my god, like I'm scared of the dark. But it's like
Oh,
because you
I
feel
love
like
the
you're
dark.
being consumed. But I feel like in a way that you feel like all of your thoughts are coming towards you, like all your
Yeah,
fears, everything. Like,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
I feel like
Yeah.
if you're able to just sit there and just breathe, then
breathe.
you've come to a point where
Yeah.
you can think freely.
You could also notice a certain like if you're trying to focus really deeply on the meditative process and you're finding a roadblock, that's an issue you have to address, and it exposes it. That's why I understand and discovers it. So like let's say you're very calm, you're sitting, you're breathing, and then you feel a tightness in your chest, and even when you're scanning all the way down to like
Mhm.
relax, that tightness is still there. You have to like address that, like post meditation something. You have to ask yourself, what is this emotion? Why am I feeling like this? And then that leads you to uncovering all these problems you have, or all these issues that are already there. But since you're like, we're in the rat race, we just know go go go, we never have time to actually sit down and deal with it. Like if you're held at gunpoint in your life at some point, that's not normal, and it definitely affects you. You probably are experiencing some form of emotions as a result of it, but you wouldn't know it until you actually uncover that whole entire process.
Oh yeah.
And that is not even a normal thing to start with. And emotions are just a reaction to things that happen to us, or mainly trauma, but also various things, because it's not a coping mechanism. It's emotions are a mechanism for survival, and that goes out until when the first man was there and how we used to live back then.
But you brought up a good point. Is just you say you started doing therapy to address like certain emotions you was feeling. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people, it has to be addressed. I was even talking to E about this, where it's like I feel like a lot of people, they might, I won't say a lot of people, we've all had some sort of like family issues or
Oh
this or
yeah, I
that.
got my ass beat, bro.
And and you see a belt.
Oh, doesn't wear belts anymore.
Oh no, 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 no.
Like
Don't bring out
Hassan
the studded
Papas.
joint.
Oh.
Nah, but I feel like a lot of people will spend time like talking about these things, talking it down, and like that, you get consumed in like. Sometimes I've spoken to family members and it's like that's all they would talk about, and at a certain point, it's like not to sound insensitive, but it's the truth. We've all had those people. It don't even gotta be family members, people that you know that have had family issues or issues
Oh
with
yeah, for
a
sure.
past significant other or presently, and it's just like, all right, you gonna deal with it or you just gonna keep talking about this shit?
Yeah,
Because
that's
eventually we get
action
to a
is
peak where
important.
it's like, all right, bro, like just shut up with this. Like either deal with it or live with it.
Yeah,
But it's
address it,
like,
or yeah.
yeah, like
And even in the process of addressing it, that doesn't mean your life doesn't still go on. You're addressing the issue, it's still gonna come up. You're still gonna have those emotions. The By addressing it, you're learning how to cope with it, or you're learning how
yeah, and it
to
takes
get to the
time.
bottom of. Yeah, victim mentality is a big thing as well, and it's really huge, especially in this day and age. Everybody wants to feel freaking offended. I feel like if you go about your day just being offended by everything, you just lose sight of who you are. You just lose sight of what your actual values are. You can't care about everything in the world. Like, dude, one thing again, I don't personally care about, and I think Hassan Minaj mentioned it, was the straw issue. My guy, I can't even go about my day without sipping from a straw. Like, there are other things I'm worried about. I can't worry about
Look,
everything. You can't worry
again,
about the turtles, the
again,
birds, the ants, the
again,
freaking beavers, the
again. I think we
koalas. And
can. This is what I'm talking about. Where it's like there's a bigger issue behind that. That's just the environment.
yeah.
So if it's really that big an issue, just get rid of all straws and we move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind using
I'm
them.
just saying,
Paper
like
straws need to go though. That them joints ain't worth
people will
nothing.
people will adjust. Like we'll be
Yeah,
fine
for
without
sure,
the damn straw. And if
for
it's that
sure.
big a deal, you can get a metal straw or some type of edible like chocolate straw or some shit like that. I don't know. Nah, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get what you mean. Like everybody's like, oh, I care about this. Even right now, like you'll go on your Instagram, it's like all these different petitions and this and that, like
Oh,
what's a
dude, I
scam, what's
guess.
not, this, that. And it's like, you know what, we have to deal with the issue, and that's changing the system. Like, of course, like all these things need to happen, but if you change the system, then you create a better tomorrow. I mean, I know that's some whatever, blah, blah, blah stuff people have said since the beginning of time, but people haven't really been changing stuff. They just been putting like a little band-aid on it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
it's better, right? I know
yeah.
you just got burnt alive, but this should be all right.
Ah.
Yeah, and
Take his aspirin.
another thing I want to bring up is like, yeah, I understand that people worry about that. Like you were saying, like they worry about the environment, right? I
Yeah.
get
We
that.
all do.
That's in your
We all do.
circle. That's in the circle of your concern. Like all of us pretty much care about the environment. But let's be real. Unless
Unless
I
you're a
can
Trump
donate,
supporter.
no, unless I can donate like $1 billion, I can't like have an impact. So
Yeah.
why should I even worry about that? The one thing I should be worrying about is the actions that I can
Yeah,
take.
the little actions.
Yeah. So what is
Yeah.
my circle of influence? What are the things that I can actually do? You know,
You
What's
and I
the
feel
actually
like
could be
people,
recycling
doing
bin?
yeah, exactly. Like
recycling,
recycling, like don't if you don't use like plastic, like don't
reuse
use
it,
paper
get a
straws, reusable
bottle.
You
things.
know
My boy
what?
Yeah.
Patrick
I
bought me a
think,
bottle just to stop me from using plastic bottles.
see, I'm helping out in my way.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, and that's like it's like the little things that you have to do. It's like because you're gonna be worried like for that. Like one of the biggest things that I was always concerned about was like if there was a meaning to this life. You know, that was one of my biggest worries, and that always got me into like an existential overthinking
Just sit
mentality,
there.
and it actually like used to like cause me like worry and like existential angst until I realized it's like I'm never gonna know the answer. Like
Oh
there's
yeah,
been
Well,
more
you
that's
than
know
why there are
what?
great philosophers
But
out
you know
there.
what? You know what? I think all of us being creatives, this is my thought on what you were saying, Stalin, is that the meaning is what you make it. Like
yeah, yeah,
there's nothing like,
and
and
that's
I
what an
think
existentialist would say.
yeah, like there's no, I feel like a lot of people get caught up in this. And I know people that will seek, I guess, asylum, like mental asylum through like religion or through being in some sort of like I don't know, like some type of league or this and that to feel like, okay, I'm fulfilling this or this is the meaning. The meaning is to worship this or to, help this league achieve this. Or we talk about work, help this company achieve that. But it's like, nah, like the meaning is whatever you put on it. Now, if you truly actually feel like that in, the core of your body, cool. But some people, I feel like they feel like so wobbly and they can't really, again, like trying to figure out who you are, what are your values. They don't know how to attach that to their own meaning in life. Just my opinion, though.
Oh yeah, again, it all comes to having a set of values, like I said.
Yeah,
And if you have these set of values, you live your life by it, and it actually governs whatever you're doing at the moment. It becomes easy for you to decipher between what's for you and what's not. Like, let's say, an example will be you're on the train and one of your values is nonviolence, right? And someone steps on your shoes. You have two options there, and you have your value there to determine your reaction. You could either say, "Hey, excuse me,"
hey, you
like,
getting a fair one, bro. I don't know what you.
yeah.
I'm,
See, we're different in that sense. I don't even care how expensive the
I'm
shoes are.
playing. I'm playing.
I'm usually just gonna say, "Yo, it's all right. It's your shoes. Go about your day." You know. But there's a lot of people will have different reactions. So we know in the hood, it's not a thing to step on
Now
someone's shoes.
look,
You could
if
get
someone get
clapped
on the
like that
train and they
and start
step on your
stomping.
shoe and they twist their foot and they look at you like, all right,
And even with that, if you have values, like I don't know, it depends on where you want to direct your energy. You can confront them and say,
to
"Yo,
their
what the hell are you
face.
doing? Like, yo, that's not right." And like, don't do that. But for me, I don't like fighting. It's just something I don't want to dedicate my time and energy to. Yeah, I'll learn self defense. Yeah, like I could stand up for myself. If it comes down to it, I actually have to fight to
Yeah,
defend myself. But if it's something that's not that important, it's like someone bumping into you. I've seen people get into full blown fist fights over just a bump, and I was like, all this could have been avoided if one person just said sorry to the
well,
other
that's gonna
person.
be what we talking about next. Why that would happen, right?
But
Yeah,
here's another viewpoint that
Uh
I
huh.
think is very true. It's just like the things that happen in life don't really affect you. It's how you react to it that affect you.
True.
You know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you let it affect you, of course it's gonna cause you like anger, and like it's gonna cause you like pain. You know, and you're gonna consistently like give those actions power and those people to get to you power. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like self awareness is so important to like
Oh
to
yeah.
do that, you know, because it's like there are stories of people that are like in such bad circumstances, really poor, and yet they're like the happiest people ever because of the way they take things in and they react to it, you
Oh
know.
yeah,
True.
to the
True.
simple pleasures of life, just like even drinking water to them is something that's very enjoyable because they're present, and I think
I don't
that
never
that's
take
actually
that for
reflective.
granted.
Oh yeah, dude, I love
I be
water,
drinking
man.
water all
Yo,
day.
so I had soda, I think, on Sunday. It
Uh
was
huh.
like my buddy's birthday, and they had soda there, and I was like, all right, this is a cheat day. Why not? This I Prior to that, I hadn't had soda in months, right? So I drink it. I
You
was
put
like,
out a flask of
yeah.
soda.
Now drinking, I was like, this ain't even all that.
Nah,
It
it's
didn't feel
not.
enjoyable at all. I was like, why are people killing themselves over this again? Why are you catching diabetes over this? It's not even great.
It's because they're addicted. Sugar
Yeah.
is like I think is more addicting than cocaine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And one of the I've been doing this thing where I give myself like mini challenges. The first one I'm not gonna mention on air. Maybe when we're off air, I'll tell you guys about it. But the second one was I went a whole day without sugar, or like the only type of sugar I got was from fruits. So I'll eat a fruit whenever I felt the craving or something, and it felt great, man. So like even now I'm limiting myself to just
You eating
uh agave. I don't even like pastries
the fruit
anymore.
gummies.
Ew.
Oh, they
Even
sugar free
candy.
though.
They sugar free. You come to my room like hiding, just like a stash somewhere. Shit, they're not watching me, right? After so I don't even know, but it's been pretty. I feel like if you dedicate yourself to again, I thought being healthy is one of the things I'm like
Mhm.
I'm taking very serious. And I find it really enjoyable. Like even eating veggies.
Yeah, I
Kale is like
remember
I'm like,
like being in high school and I would literally like I don't know, like my boys would come over, like we about to go somewhere, and I would make a big salad for myself, and people would be like, hmm? But it's just I made that decision, like
yeah.
even like
This nigga over there eating a salad, yo.
yeah, I used to eat just a big old like a
Bowl of
pasta
it.
bowl of salad.
Damn, son.
Yeah,
And you actually enjoyed it though. That's the whole
yeah,
like
yeah.
meaning. Like I really like that. What's the next thing you were gonna ask? You said that led into something.
Oh, the next part of discussion, but I think you know, speaking of insecurities, we kind of talked about how it blocked creative process. How does it
Hmm.
block you in
From
your chase for these women?
uh chase a woman, dude. I don't chase women. I think that's also one of the problems I have to address. I think I'm too all that to chase someone. It's very much an egotistical thing. Like let's say I'm talking to a girl and I you know
You
girls
talking
do
about?
whatever
Hold
they
on, talking about chase or court somebody. If
I
we want
even
to be,
even court too. I just get. I'm like, what if I move? Just another girl always, and it's something like even sometimes when like we're vibing and I kind of like you, I you mess up and I'm like, it's not worth it. I don't care enough. Bye. You feel me?
yeah,
And it's something I need to address because in my head I'm like, and you be lucky to have my time. Or like, yo, look at me. I'm not just out here like chasing everybody. I know my worth. I have value in myself. I'm handsome
I
as
know my worth.
I'm handsome. I know my worth. But no, like sometimes I tell myself, yo, I'm too
Yes,
handsome for you.
King.
Like, like I'm too handsome for you. Move. But I need to get over that. I think Stalin will love this. I was just telling him. He was asking, why you asked about
But you
insecurities
know
and
what? I feel
when
like a
when
big
it comes to
thing.
chasing like women. And I was telling him, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm too good for them. That's a big thing, and I really have to address that. Like if I'm talking to a girl, like let's say, like even sometimes in the street, I'll see a cute girl, and then in my head, I already tell myself, this is not gonna go anywhere. Why even bother? And I'll just walk away. But
yeah,
it happens almost automatically. And Stalin said something that made me think earlier. He was like, um, just thinking and not taking action. Thinking doesn't always lead to action, and actions are what actually makes
exactly.
sense. So sometimes I just need to just say, yo, nah, maybe you might, or maybe you're not as good as you think you are. You're not as like all that as you think you are. So just put your ego aside and
Hold on, I
go to
found
that
there was
person.
something else. Go ahead, Stalin. I'm gonna find this book that I was reading. Ego is the enemy.
Okay, wait. So we're talking about ego right now?
Yeah, we're talking about ego when it comes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
relationships, and I was telling him how again I for a lot of
Oh, here we go.
these
To
girls out
see
there.
to see yourself as more than you are, and to value yourself at less than your true worth.
To see yourself, what? Repeat that.
Damn, I just closed the page. Hold up.
It said to see yourself as more valuable than you truly are.
Mm.
Then I'm gonna let him finish the rest.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
to see yourself as more than you are, and to value yourself at less than your true worth.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
think I'm all that though, son. I'm all that in like some change,
but
man. I
that's a
can't.
but that's a bad mentality to have, and I
But
feel
I
like
am all that. What do you mean?
no.
Hey,
But
shut
here's
your
the
ass up.
thing.
We about to
Here's the
correct you.
thing. Yeah, like you can't have ego. There's a difference between being confident and between and being arrogant and having ego. Because
I'm
ego
not
is a
arrogant. I'm a sweetheart.
but the reason we like here's what I'm
Here's the
saying because
tart.
ego is the main reason why we have so many problems in this world and why we have like such racism and discrimination and why like people that have like prejudices and biases don't want to learn because their
Mm.
ego is too big, you know. Your ego is the biggest enemy you can have because it's going to stop you from doing things. Like yeah, you could say I'm better than her, but who
Oh no,
knows,
I'm not
maybe
saying I'm better than her. I'm just saying I'm too handsome for her. This is problematic.
yeah, that is but that you see how that's problematic because like okay, what if that could have been the love of your life, but you missed a chance because you believe that you were more handsome than her. You have to be open to that, you
And
know.
Styling, look, she's just gonna have to level up to get to my level. I don't know what to tell
I'm
you.
saying, man, come
No,
on,
but
man.
that's what I'm saying.
You
That's
see the
like
Hawaiian shirt.
there has to be like a difference because it's like when it comes to like let's say like dating and stuff, it's like I've had ego, you know, I've had to get corrected and I've had to get checked,
Yeah.
and but I'm open to that, you know. And
Mm.
like for me, it's like when I see like someone I find very attractive, it's like I just think of them as a human being, someone that
Mm.
has their own
Oh
insecurities,
yeah,
their
for
own
sure.
strengths, their own weaknesses, you know. And it's like I'm just gonna approach it as talking to another human being, but I really have to see why I'm going for it. It's
Yeah.
like, is it because I truly want to like get to know this
And
person, dating, or just hook up?
yeah,
Because
that's
hooking
my
up is
thing
like,
too.
you know,
Usually the motive behind it is not right, and that's also one thing that stops me with the ego aspect. I do address that as a problem. I've spoken to a countless amount of like people about it. Like, this is what I do, and it's not right, and I'm working on like changing that. But it also comes down to why I'm actually approaching you in the first place. You
Yeah.
know,
But you
if
know
it's
what?
just to hook up, I'm like, well, do I really want to just talk to you to hook up? I feel like it's a
Yeah,
waste
I
of
mean,
time.
look, I think this is the thing. When I was younger, right? I would by that I mean like high school. It's not
Hmm.
like we're
I'll stand on the block all day going,
super.
"Hey, yo, mama."
Nah. Like I got to a point where before like you would kind of follow. For me, like being a younger boy at that time, like what I'm saying, you follow what like someone who was older than you tells you. So I
Oh,
would have like friends that I don't know for every reason, like most of my friends will always be like older than myself. But
mhm.
I think even before high school, like a couple of people I know, like, oh, you should be doing this and that. I'm like, all right, cool, let me try this. But I got to a certain point where, like, you know what? Let me not even try to do the whole game and trickery and this and that. Like, if
Yeah,
if that's what you want from a woman, or I mean, whatever the hell your sexual orientation is, it don't matter. Like, if that's what you want from an individual, you gotta be upfront with them. And
yeah,
usually people will be like, all right, like
yeah.
I can respect that, or I'm not really with that, and then you could
We
figure it out with that.
figure out. Yeah,
I
I-
think the ego leads us to think that I can obtain what I want no matter what, and you take all these extra steps just to get what you want, to feed that, to say, look what I did, like look what I did, like look what happened. And to Stalin's point, like that's what's kind of messed everything up in history too, because it's a sense of like conquering everything in a way, you know, in,
yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, I'm still talking about this nurse, man. If I see her again, the nurse from the protest. If you're out there,
Which
we need
it's
to talk.
mad nurses out
Nah, she knows
there.
Yeah,
herself.
for real.
She knows herself. If you're out there and you happen to be listening to this, my name is Hassan. Uh, let's go get coffee.
Unless she saw you,
Where?
she's not gonna remember you.
I know. No, if I again, but it's stuff like that. I think it's the motive behind it that would again. But I think I'm also thinking too much about it. Sometimes you just don't even have to have a motive. You just have to talk to another person as a human being, see if you catch a vibe or not. I like when
Yeah.
Stalin said that actually, because overthinking again leads to no action, and I find myself doing that a lot when it comes to that aspect. But because I'm not putting a lot of precedence to it, I'm totally fine being single. I actually enjoy it, just like being by myself a lot.
But
You know?
even in the sense of being single, I feel like some people they mask insecurities with the ego, and then that's like
Hmm.
a really bad combination. So
Yeah.
it could be like, all right,
How did this become a
I'm not.
therapy session?
It ain't no therapy session, but it's like you might not want to approach her. You might feel like this or that, but maybe I'm not saying you, but maybe some people that feel like, oh, like whatever, like she ain't all that. But it's like, nah, you feel like she not gonna give you the time of day
The time of
because
the
she
day, and that's
actually
why
look mad good.
and you're scared, and that's why
Yeah,
you've rationalized it in your brain, saying, "Oh, she's not even all that." You find yourself nitpicking and choosing. Yeah,
exactly. I feel like a lot of dudes be on that too. They be like, man, like,
yeah, like
Yeah.
or to find out that what I'm saying, like the female is actually the one controlling the situation.
oh yeah,
So then it's like, oh, I want to be with you. I want more. I want this,
yeah.
and they
That's
good on that.
they
And it's
put
like,
you're putting too much emphasis and too much
I'm
effort
saying, like
on a pedestal.
that usually hurts dudes too, where it's like,
Yeah,
all right, like damn, like no, you gonna be my girl, like we involved, and the
nigga,
female like,
relax. There's
no,
mad
like,
girls around.
and the
Like,
female's like, no, I'm saying like y'all could be talking or whatever, but then the woman might just be like, no, like I'm cool on that, and then that
yeah.
bruises your ego, and you turn around and be like, yeah, man, I
Man.
told her I wanted to be single, like it just ain't gonna work out. In reality, it's like, nah, bro, like she ain't want
She
to.
tells you. No, the thing
Yeah,
is, you ever seen a dude cat call and then gets mad because it's not working? And I'm like,
yeah,
you're an idiot in the first place to think that's how to talk to another human being. You think you're just gonna stand there and say, "Hey, yo, mama, let me holler at you real quick," and then she'll turn around and be like, Oh, actually, yes, I'll let you holler at me real quick. No, you idiot. And then you turn around and go, well, F you then or this. I'm like, what does that accomplish?
I don't even know.
You
I
know,
don't even know.
again, I think ego is a big thing when it comes to relationships and um again
Well,
take
you know what?
connection
This is
or just
another.
humanize the person. Just see them as another human being that has interests and things they want to talk about, like their own problems, and you can just approach
Even
them
for
in that
this,
way.
like people that are in relationships, another again, this book, Ego is an Enemy. I recommend everybody read this joint. It's really good. It's a
Let
good
me add
read.
that to the list. Seven
But
habits
I
of
think
successful people and egos. Yeah.
um this, and I do want to get into the creative side too, but
Oh yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
this is why a lot of people find themselves in certain situations. I don't want to say this is why a lot of people cheat, but this little part from the book, it says that's how it seems to go. We're never happy with what we have. We want what others have too. We want to have more than everyone else. We start out knowing what is important to us, but once we've achieved it, we lose sight of our priorities. Ego sways us and can ruin us.
Mm,
And I feel like, damn, like that's,
that's deep.
yeah, like, so again, it's like, why are you actually, why are people not happy with what they have? It's just like, because you've lost, you know what I'm saying? You can't stay rooted in that. And at the end of the day, it's like, all right, like, this or that. And a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it myself to a certain extent when I was younger, like, all right, chasing after these women or this and that. And certain women was like, nah, like, that's not where you want to place your time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just you keep feeding it like, all right, I have this girl, but I want this and I want that. And then some
It's
people
what you're
is
being
like,
fed. It's what you see. That's why.
yeah, and then some people will have a good relationship, but then it's like, oh no, I want this extremely what they view. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell anyone who's beautiful and who's not, but in their head, like, oh my God, like she like the pinnacle of beauty and this and
Yeah.
that. And I feel like going back to social media, you look at all these influencers and certain people. I ain't gonna like
Yeah.
put a bunch of names out there, but we can probably put two and two together. But a lot of rappers after this individual, and it's like,
I'm gonna say it. Lori Harvey.
but it's like, bro, like I don't know, like you see women like that on a regular. At
Yeah,
least
not
I
even
have.
that. Why is that the case though? Why does every rapper just want to be with that one person? It's weird. This like she go out with this guy and like they break up, and then the next guy's another rapper or another, and it's the same people in that same circle. It's I'm
It's the
not
ego,
judging
man.
them or her, but yo, out of all the women in the world, you
No, I'm
guys all
judging.
want the same person. Uh, yuck.
What Stalin, what you think, man?
I don't know. I feel like people always go with like what they're told. Like they're people are literally told what to think, and they don't think for themselves.
True.
That's
And
true.
I feel like people are always going with like, uh, I don't know. I guess they're going with that because I guess like that's what's in. That's the beauty standards, and that's because that's gonna give you like, I guess some sort of like street cred. But it's
Yeah, I guess.
like why are you going after? Like you should really be going against like someone that has the same values and principles with you. And and like my ex-girlfriend made me like realize that too, because I've been guilty before, like in college and then, like in high school, like just messing around and hooking up and going for like looks. But then eventually like you realize like, why am I doing that? Like it takes away from
Yeah.
you, like just
It
going for
doesn't feel
looks.
great
And
after, does it?
yeah, it just feels
It
like
feels empty.
yeah, it feels like completely empty, and it's like you want someone to be there and talk to you, and it's like,
Oh, help me.
you know nah, cause it's like being serious, man. And it's like eventually like looks fade, and I feel like a lot of people are just focused on the wrong things,
Mm.
and like on the wrong. And I mean, not to say that like everyone goes at their own pace,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and like everyone is very different, and I feel like we gotta like really accept like those differences, and that people are going at their own pace, but the only thing we can do is try to like make them see the right path. And if they're receptive, okay, good. If they're not, okay, then be on your own. Like
Oh
maybe you'll
yeah.
realize one day. That's
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I feel like ego is a big problem, and I've like, I've had ego in my life. It stopped me from doing a lot of things, and it's I used to think like I knew so much, and like it made me a very cynical and narcissistic, but also like pessimistic person. And it's once you start to let go of that ego that you start to see like the beauty and goodness in life,
Mm, yeah.
because ego will hold you back because you'll always want to be right, and you can't admit that you're
True.
wrong. And
Well,
it's like,
Stalin, how is this? You feel like it's ever blocked your creative process at all?
yeah, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like it stopped me from like asking for criticism before. And like if
Mm,
you have an ego, you're gonna be afraid to ask for criticism, and I feel like you're gonna like be like, okay, this is good, I don't have to improve. And I feel like that's a bad mentality, because I feel like before I was like, all right, this is getting better, and it's until I put my ego aside that I started asking people, and it's like, I'm not shit. Like, I ain't shit. Like, my work is like, that's all right. Like, it's
yeah.
normal.
Hmm.
Like, there's nothing good to it. There's nothing special. But it's like I'm fine with that. It's like I'm just like
It's a
starting out. I'm
process.
still learning
Yeah.
the craft, and it's a process. And you
Yeah.
have to like learn that and not be afraid to like fail. And I feel like ego holds you back from trying because you're so
You
afraid to
don't
like
want to.
fail and get
Yeah.
hurt, because ego is just like kind of like it's scared of like anything that's gonna go against what it believes. It's a dark force, and you
Oh
have to
yeah.
get over that.
I mean, I think you always have to. If you look at the people, all right, look, y'all. Any viewers, I'm always gonna reference back to sports because I love it. So don't
Yeah.
mind me. But
It's
you know, say
mad.
you look at certain people, it's like, all right, at the end of certain people's careers, like Michael Jordan started to work on his long, like jump shot and everything like that. Or you go to football, like certain people, oh Meek outside, Hassan.
Nah,
They
it's just
popping
it's just
willies.
one
I'm
one
just
one of one of his people. I'm if you look, my hand
the
is on the window.
chasers.
I thought I was gonna hear another
You
motorcycle.
better,
They do come
you
out
better
at
be at
night.
the window like in Creed.
That,
Oh, actually, that's an idea I gave Stanley for one of his music videos, which is gonna be directed by our one and only Mr. Stalin right there. But yeah, I wanted a scene like that in
Yeah.
in one of his music videos. But no, it's just one of Meek's guys, just one of them. They come out at night. It's that coupled with all those fireworks. But
Got you.
continue, you were saying.
Nah, but I mean, it's again, if you should always have the student's mentality, because even if you whatever you if you are at the height of heights at your profession or as a
Hmm.
inventor, entrepreneur, whatever the hell you do,
Hmm.
you can always learn more. There's always another technique you don't
There's
know
always something you don't know.
exactly. And once you block that off, then you've created a ceiling for yourself. But I feel like if you think free, you have those free thoughts, then you could always improve from where you're at.
Yeah.
Because even here, it says you can't learn if you think you already know. And I think
Yeah.
that's a really good thing. Is like to Stalin's point, even for me, like sometimes in my role at times, like, no, I know how to, do this with people or do that. And it's like, no, like actually let me pull that back and see something else. So I've had to come down from just I'm someone who can be very prideful. So I will always try to like I want to get my point out there. But I've been like working on that like really hard to just kind of like peel it
Taking in
back
other
and just
people's, yeah.
let things whatever. You'll always be able to get your point, your influence out there. Cause sometimes I feel like some people feel like, oh, they just forgot about what I do or this and that. Like, no, like
Yeah.
just at this
Correct.
moment, this is what's being highlighted.
Yeah, it's
That's
what's
all.
important, which is also a reason why, like, I find it really annoying about how these influencers are like quiet about what's going on, and then they still want to post there. I mean, hey, to each his own. It's your life. You could do whatever you want, but yo, don't bombard me with your selfies if I'm going through a time like this, man. I don't want to see your face. Like, you
but
feel me?
but that only doesn't go to the person, the influencer. It also goes to you. Like, why are you following them?
Oh,
You know?
yeah, that's true. I
Hmm.
don't follow influencers anymore. I was just giving an example, but I like following a
Ah.
lot of regular people actually. If to be honest, or if you don't inspire me, I'm not following you.
Look, we all regular people at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
but
Yeah.
if I'm not learning from you, I don't find any reason to follow you. Like with
true.
Virgil, I mean, I think it's died down. He's actually like been trying to make a change. I could say that now. I could see him actually incorporating a lot of African Americans in his work. One of his recent posts, he showed like a suit that was made from a Ghanaian tailor or some form of African tailor from the scratch, and it's a Louis Vuitton suit. So I'm like, okay, now he's incorporating it, he's learning from it, and that goes back to the ego thing and
Yeah, but
putting
it's
that aside and
with something
being
like
open
that.
to it.
It's like I guess it's early for him in the creation of his
Yeah,
brand and
because
stuff
he's an
like that.
architect. Again, if you
But
look at it, at the ethos of his thing.
if you're gonna follow the blueprint of all these other companies like we spoke about a little earlier, like a lot of these places, like, oh, 40 years we've been at this, it's wrong. Like, no, you Ben knew it's wrong.
He
Like,
knew it was wrong.
yeah, like get the fuck. But again, that's that ego. That's that ego pushing you to be like,
Imagine not
"Ooh,
fixing anything and just saying, "Oh, it's bad," and that's it.
yeah.
It's wrong.
I mean, look, I feel like also as creators, just because you get, I feel I've seen this happen too, where I don't know, whatever. Let's just say Hassan, he's making his brand. He's like, yeah, I feel good about it. And then I don't know, of a well-known jewelry designer is like, yo, this is awesome. And then after that, he just think, shit, my shit don't stink, bro. Like,
Oh, nah, it does.
like once you get the
Trust me.
that kale coming through hot.
Dude, I'm not buying kale again. I'm gonna switch to spinach because kale. Even I'm not gonna get into details, but
Nah, but it's like people will start to feel that, and it's like, hold on, that's just one person.
hmm.
And you don't even know why they're saying that. They might want to try to buy your business from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. Like, people need to just stop with this whole like create for everyone that's out there. Create what you want. Don't get sidetracked. Yeah.
Stuck up. Yeah.
Don't get uprooted from your foundation because that's what's making what you're creating beautiful in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
Once you separate that, it turns into Kanye West or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that's the thing. So I'm a big advocate against fast fashion, right? And I've always
Mhm.
like within my discussions with people I know in the industry or people that are also into luxury wear and actual design. I asked them, all right, you're doing all of this. You're having fun. You're talking about clothes. You're doing what you're passionate
Right.
about. What if Fashion Nova pops up and gives you 100K for a post? Would you take it? You're against fast fashion. You're totally against whatever they stand for. But there's the money.
That's the thing.
See?
I think I know for me, I'm good because
Yeah.
I know what I want to be known for.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have a foundation that I'm rooted in. And once I do that, I don't want to be like uprooted and then plant a new pot of soil. Like that's now it looks a
Yeah.
little crazy. Because then you will lose people that seek
Dude.
the true value.
Yeah.
And you're just getting people that will see you like, oh, I didn't know this was going. And can you sustain that new
Yeah.
group of people?
I brought
And
this up because there's this one guy I followed. Like again, I like how he dressed. He wears a bunch of suits and stuff. And
mhm.
one time he did a video because Fashion Nova came to him, and that was one of his most hated videos. Like in the comments, everyone was like, "Oh, what the hell? You never dress like this. We know this is not your style.
Mhm.
Like you never wear shorts. Why you wearing shorts? Like, we all know the Fashion Nova stuff is crap. Like And I think he learned from that because after that, I never saw anything close, anything even close to what Fashion Nova is. But it becomes the value like you're holding yourself up to, and knowing when to say no, even if the money is good, and
True.
not to sell out. Again,
Yeah.
selling out has different connotations, but if you people would know you for your values if that's part of your work and if that's what it exhibits.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you have to live up to those values and principles, especially because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you
Mhm.
Exactly.
different, and people will know if you're being fake or not. And another thing, going back to like the points you two made about like copying art. If you find yourself already copying an art or someone that inspired you, you're already too late because someone else already did it. Like
You did it. Yeah,
by the time you're doing that, it's probably already like a trend that's getting outdated. That's why it's
exactly.
like you always have to do things that are for yourself, and eventually something like really original will come out because you are like a student. First you have to learn the craft, and you have to practice the craft, and then you become a master of the craft, and then you can start to like experiment and change.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not willing to accept the master, then you can't really grow. Like you have to always want to learn. Like even I think during this lockdown, it's like I've really gotten back to reading, and you know, I think I've really spent a lot of time reading, to be honest. Like reading, and then like you spoke about earlier, like trying to search for that financial freedom. So I set financial goals, and like
Yeah.
and I feel better because I feel like, yo, like I'm almost there with this one goal, or I'm almost through with this book, and I've learned this or that. But even then, it's like we can't have and some people will have the ego as if, oh, I read this book, now I know everything. And it's like, bro, like that's not the point. The point is that you found something there that works for you, and now you can try to perhaps teach somebody or seek someone with more knowledge to teach you more about what you learned about. And even when it goes back to being creative, like I think that you can always find, being around certain people. And even if you can't be around, because sometimes we don't have access to certain people, but you could access them through social media, of course, in this day and age, but you might not be able to get to them physically. But hey, watch a video of your favorite designer, watch this or do that. Like you have access to all this stuff.
Listen to a podcast, our podcast.
Please subscribe. But and comment.
And like
follow me on IG at
and hit that bell for notifications when we have a new episode.
Turn your post notifications on. Look how quickly we divert.
Speaking of ego. So how would y'all deal with these things? How have you, I guess personally, how have either y'all dealt with like some sort of insecurities and egos and like getting out of your own way so you don't stop yourself? Because that's one of my beliefs. I feel like the only thing that can stop you is you for the most part. Like it's literally just you in a way.
It depends on your again, coming back to value systems and things you actually are passionate
I want to hear a story, damn it.
A story? Shoot.
Nothing about belly buttons, though. Nothing about belly buttons, please.
No more of these stand-up jokes,
done.
bro.
That's done. Finger guns. No. One insecurity that I've been really trying to battle was fear this year. Oh, that actually rhymed. Look how I'm giving up the bars, man.
You still not doing the intro song, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna still get one. One day I'll put auto-tune on my mic and it's over for you guys, man. Reverb up, auto-tune. It's just a whole song, the whole podcast.
Like how we close out his little square.
I'll just get kicked out. But no, one thing I was really trying to battle wasn't necessarily an insecurity, but was fear. And this year I really wanted to go after things that were kind of like irrational fears. So when I went to Florida last year, we went to this Crocodile Dundee sanctuary, and they had snakes there, and I'm terrified of snakes. Genuinely afraid of snakes. Like I start to shake. Like my is it sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system kicks in? The flight one. Yeah, fight or flight one. It kicks in like a lot, and like it's uncontrollable. But I saw a little kid doing it, and I was like, okay, maybe my fear is irrational, but my fear comes from a real spot because I've seen snakes kill people from where I'm from.
Right.
So I attribute that to danger, but I slowly got over it, and I was like, I have to touch the snake. I'm gonna do it. And I held I think 2 or 3 different snakes that day, and it was very big to me. I was like, okay, like if I still see a snake, don't get me wrong, my initial reaction is snake.
You gonna be smart about it, but
but if it's a pet snake,
I'm terrified of snakes too, bro.
Yeah, you're not gonna just like freak the fuck out. Like.
I'm not gonna run. I will slowly get myself to go there and touch it. It's a part of like breaking through that cycle of being scared of it. Stalin is just go. I'm like, Stalin, let's go. It's like, yeah. I'll turn around. There's just a wind. In cartoons when they run, that wind that's left behind.
Take a trip. Oh yeah, we about to go to the snake thing. Oh yeah, I gotta get the camera with
the book, my memory card,
all right.
my mic.
They're gonna be there.
Mom,
for things.
Yeah.
So how many people are you having at the snake farm?
Bro,
3.
unless it's like a pet snake, like nah.
No,
Chill.
it's a pet snake, and even with pet snakes, trust me, I'm not saying I'm not still scared of it. It will take me about 5 minutes to get myself in control to go and actually do it. One other thing I
Damn, y'all
try
ain't
to
gonna
do
come
is
visit when I get my pet python.
so we're not recording a podcast at the spot. If you guys got snake, yeah, you better lock it. I'm bringing you my own lock. Like I'm bringing my own lock for you. So
Secuto.
I'm sitting cross-legged on my chair. Hell no. Full Gandhi mode. But no, the second one was public speaking. I think that wasn't too much of a scare. I enjoy it. I like attention. That's one thing I know about myself. But like going to on stage and actually
Mhm.
doing something, I wanted to do it. It wasn't a fear, but it was some form of an insecurity and like getting up there and talking in front of a lot of these people. That was a lot easier to get over than the snake thing. But also just this ego that I'm still working on. I think I just told you guys about this with my whole rationale and approaching
Mhm.
people. I'm working on that. There's certain roadblocks like some form of anxiety which kicks in high stress situations that I'm still working on. So I'm not done yet, and it's a work in process. It's a work in process, and I'm still trying to incorporate these whole things. My
Right.
ultimate goal will be to be very present in almost everything I do, getting my value system really set down and going after them and living my life based on these values, and also not compromising for things I don't stand for. You know, because I'm a very non-confrontational person. I'm very chill. That's my vibe.
Mhm.
Like before outside, I'm hyper. We're having fun, but when it comes to who I actually am, I just love just
Right.
peace and quiet. So that's who I am as a person. And sometimes, like, there are confrontations that are necessary sometimes, and you have to do it. But I find myself compromising a lot of times, and I'm trying to find a way where, all right, there are certain situations where compromising, it's not the way to go about it. So I'm still learning. It's a process, but when it comes to creativity and other things of that, I'm trying to always be different. I think styling can attest to this, even if it's an outfit video. Trying to find a way to add like my own twist to it or something that's very distinctive that speaks to who I am and sending a message
How
because
do
I'm
I
big
get
on
these
storytelling.
loafers in here?
And I trust me, no, those loafers are in every outfit. God damn it, they're right back there. Again, if they made shoes that fit me really well, I probably wouldn't be super into sneakers like that like I am now. Because sneakers are one of the most comfortable things I could wear. But I genuinely appreciate like a nice pair of boots, a nice.
Mhm.
But they're all, these designers, man, they're being discriminatory against people with big
Hey,
feet. Like
you could be the one that,
the designs it, right?
yeah, that makes a
Yeah,
good
a
looking
high
shoe.
high quality
Yeah.
luxurious shoe for people with big feet that like aren't being catered to by the design industry. F
See.
you, Saint Laurent. You piece of crap. I went in the store and that shoe, my feet couldn't even get to the shaft, bro. I was so sad. Like, but
Oh man.
yeah. Those things I'm working on. How are you actually, addressing these insecurities and not letting them stop you or becoming a roadblock in your personal life and your creative life as well?
So I think personal life, um, for me, like when I
Shit, forget that
first,
personal
damn,
life.
all right.
No, I'm kidding.
Nah, but I guess for me, like when I first moved here, like I took that, to your point, like you need action. So I literally just moved here, like to New York, just I think a couple of days after I graduated. Like no real plan or anything. I just was like, all right, I'm out. Um, and I think what started to build for me was some sort of like insecurity, like frustration, like damn, like I'm not really, I don't really know many people. I'm this, I'm that, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to like step outside of yourself. And I feel like for me, it's like I do things like I love to go outside. I love to go out. I love to do this. I love to do that.
To see people and
But they just like I think anyone that knows me somewhat knows that I'm very focused. Like I
oh
think
yeah.
a lot of people think I go home and just go to cryo sleep and then like come back.
Just take the plug yourself in. Gotta go after it. Gotta go after it. Gotta get.
But
Wakes up like, I gotta get this money. Let's go.
yeah, so now I'm just like, you know what, let me, and it's hard to like change that
You
because
don't necessarily have to change it.
I don't think what I guess not changing it, but like what is something that I like to do, like go after. So even doing this, or even stepping outside myself, like when I was asking y'all about starting this, and it's like I can just ask, they say no, whatever.
Yeah.
Cause I like that's something I don't care about, like if someone says no to
Rejection.
me.
Yeah.
But it's like, cool, whatever. But I'm just like, let me start that, do this. And then I think for me, sometimes I strongly and still do like value other people where I see like how freely they live. And it's like
Yeah.
I really like that because I feel like sometimes I'm a slave to my own mind in the sense of like I just stay like so laser focused sometimes that I don't step out
It's
to
straight, like every
do
once in a while, take a pit stop.
yeah. So I think that's one of my things where it's like you can I guess that's been an insecurity for me where it's like I need to step out of that and make sure that I live how I know that I like to live, you
Yeah.
know? And then
I,
even what you about to say?
I know. I'm saying the goal is still there. You could just,
Yeah,
enjoy
exactly.
yourself through it. That's one thing I also had to learn too, because I was also when I first started in the industry, I was like, oh yeah, just push work, and I'm looking around, and I even asked the first stylist I worked with, like, oh, how was it, like, um, you know, becoming becoming a celebrity stylist? What was it like for you? And he goes, oh yeah, I was at this party and I was talking to this person, and I was like, oh, so you actually went out and partied? You enjoyed yourself through the process, and it started to hit me like the
Yeah,
process doesn't have to be this streamlined, hardworking. I'm going after it. You could relax, like actually still
exactly.
work on it and take it at your own pace.
And I don't know if it was yourself or Stalin that made the point earlier. I think because when I spoke about that piece in the book, I've been someone where I'm like a perfectionist and a neat freak and everything like that. So it's
You
like
got crazy OCD, man.
I need to like, and that's what I do. Like I'll plan out a day, but I think so hard on one thing. Like, all right, I need to find the best resource to learn this or the best this or the best that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just do something, bro. Like, and
Oh yeah.
that's the thing. It's like for me, like when I moved out here, like that's what I did. I just acted like big risk. You know what I'm saying? Like just jumped in. But at the end of the day, like it felt good. Like I was like, cool. Now going back, I probably would have waited and planned things out a
Got a
little
job
more.
first.
Yeah. Like
But it still worked
the
out. The higher the
sensible
risk, the higher the
things.
reward. It's a real thing.
Yeah, like, visited New York a couple more times, things like that. So going
Walked
back,
in the
I
Bronx and realized not there.
but like got a better feel. But on like I guess it's like a bigger thing, but like smaller scale, like even now, like I want to like hitting people up like, yo, what you about to do? This or that, like, or this or
Oh yeah,
that.
where
Like,
you going? What you got going on?
yeah, so like getting back into that type of mode. And I
Mm.
think ego for me is more so I know like I'm a super hard worker and like I'm gonna put in the work. So I guess for me it's like I've had times where it's like, hold on, they didn't ask me of this. Like, not like, oh, I can do it better, but like, like, I'm the workhorse. Like,
This
I
is
can
my
get this
thing.
done. Like,
Yeah,
don't worry about it. I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, hold on, like, maybe this person just has a different skill set,
yeah, or a different way
and
of doing it too.
exactly. So I think we have to like get that out of the way too. And then to be honest, like, sometimes even relationship wise, you feel like you want to prove like, all right, I'm gonna be like this person, like you'll never be able to like find someone like myself. Not in
No,
that
no, I
sense, but it's
definitely
like
understand.
in the sense of like
Setting the
I want
tone
to,
or
like I want to set
raising
some
the
sort
bar
of
high.
like expectation for you. I still do that, but not in like that unhealthy way of thinking.
Egotistical,
Yeah,
unhealthy.
yeah.
I think it's more of a focus on, just being there for the person
Just
and proving to them that
plainly,
I care about you and this
yeah,
is the standard I hold you to. That's a different way of looking at it.
yeah, plainly just treat others the way you would like to be treated. I think
Yeah.
when you just minimalize it to that, you can breathe a little more.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense, and arguments are just all part of it too.
Exactly.
I'm petty though, so hey.
What about you, Stalin?
Uh, I guess like the first step was always accepting that there was an ego. I feel like that's very
Oh
important
yeah,
too.
I've
Accepting
accepted.
that,
Stop them. Stop throwing shots.
just accepting, and then just working towards action, and working towards like my values and principles, like really honing in on that. And then it's like, enough talking and doing more action. It's like before I used to talk about film all the time and never do
Oh, I
anything.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like bought a camera and started doing it. And then in a year, I've advanced like a lot. Like I've progressed a lot, and I've created like I've increased my network in filmmaking really, really big. And it's like I'm confident that I can keep growing, but still humble enough to know that I'm not there at the point where I want to be, and that I will never probably be. And living in a life that the only true wisdom is that we know nothing. So constantly
Exactly.
trying to like achieve better results and trusting the process and having faith and like being patient as well, like being very patient in my work. Definitely not going to see improvement like until later on, but just honestly doing it. And it's like doing filmmaking, doing projects, and then creating my own projects, like reading, learning,
Mentos.
accepting people's like differences and just being open to that, and
What's your
constantly just like working.
Stalin? I didn't want to jump in, but this I remember hearing this. Damn, what was it? I think it was a cipher, and it was Jada Kiss freestyle. But it was one line in there. It's I don't know. It
Of
always.
course, the New York nigga brings up Jada Kiss. He brings
I
up.
ain't even from New York.
Yeah, he's not from New York.
Man, you still got Tim's. The counts.
Man, who don't? Anyway,
I don't
what's it called? What did he say? He said in his freestyle, he said, "You can know so much
You
yet,
gotta
but know
rap it.
nothing." That's it. That's all he said. You
Nah,
can
nah,
know
say it
so
again.
much yet, but know nothing.
Uh.
And I was like, damn, like, and it's true. Like, look at all these people, and I feel like, people will go to this school and they feel so like, oh my God, like I know it. I'm so highly educated. I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, okay, so much in this one arena, but there's so much out here in the world. So
Yeah,
that's how I feel too. It's like, all right, you could read all you want, study all you want, but there's still gonna be a huge portion of things that you
you're
don't know.
ignorant. True.
But yeah, sorry, Stalin. Go ahead back to what you were saying.
Yeah, and it's like the things we think we know, the things that we don't know, and then there's the things that we don't even know we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then that's how like it should always be, because this universe will always remain a mystery. In my lifetime, probably never gonna understand like quantum mechanics and how it relates to like other physics.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I'm always like talking about physics too, because that really humbles me. Because it's like, because people used to be like 1800s and 1900s, they were like, yeah, we understand physics completely. And then they discovered quantum mechanics, and then they're like, oh shit, like we really don't understand
You knew
anything.
nothing.
We
Let
really
me
didn't
check
know
back in.
anything. Yeah.
You know nothing, John Stalin. John Snow, John Stalin.
Nah, but yeah, man, and just like constantly trying to be like more self-aware and like working towards uh where I'm present and I am like
Yeah.
happy and like at peace. It's like, sometimes like, happiness shouldn't be the goal, it should be peace. I feel like
Peace,
that should be the thing,
I
because
think,
then
yeah.
from there happiness stems.
True.
And
We,
yeah, and then just like, staying true to myself, man, and just like really like going through with film, and like, like I told you, like the goals I set for myself, and then it's like one of them is like about to be complete, and then just like setting more goals, and then just keeping like the ultimate end goal, like the
in
ultimate
your
end
sight.
goal in sight, and like working towards it, because it's like film for me is not just a way to like do something I'm passionate about, but I know and I see a vision of how I can help others and people that are like like in my same position, and giving them more resources and more access. But it's gonna take time. It's like,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a long time, and it's gonna take like financial commitment. It's gonna take like dedication, but it's like keeping that in mind. It's like not just for me, but for what I want to do for other minorities and people that were in my position, because there's not a lot of Hispanic filmmakers or like Black filmmakers. It's because
Yeah.
it's expensive.
True.
People
And we
can't really
all,
afford like cameras and stuff,
yeah.
Hey,
or
yo,
like
Tyler Perry, help a brother out, man.
And we're not
Yeah.
privy to that information as
We coming
well.
down to
Come
Yeah.
on, man. But like I think that also ties in with like I think I've spoken about this on here on with what I want to do with fashion. It's not just for me to get up there and be in these rooms. It's to bring the information back to the people like me in my neighborhoods and telling them, oh, there's this thing that's out there and there's these things you could do. There's these internships you can apply to, and no one is telling you about it because they don't want you in those spaces.
Oh
And
yeah.
these are the opportunities you could take out there. So if you attach some form of humanitarian aspect to your goal, it also makes it really important to you, because you're
Yeah.
not just doing it for yourself. And I think it's a beautiful thing Stalin just said. You're bringing other people into it and opening doors. And that's where, excuse me to say, but that's where most of our African American or like, minorities in these spaces have not really done a great job at. Like, Virgil should be someone that is very accessible to like
But
like
you know
they
what?
should have come to a school, talk to the high school kids, inspire them.
Yeah.
But you're out there in Harvard with people that are making a lot of money. They already have all these opportunities,
Yeah.
afforded to them, and like the people like you and me who came up from these circumstances that you're well aware of, that your influence could run deeper. Like just one conversation you can have with someone can inspire them so much for them to become even someone that's
But you know
bigger than
what?
you.
I think it's again feeding the ego. Like, oh, I gave a presentation at Harvard or this and that. And I feel like some of these people, they don't want someone with a fresh idea to come up and remove
That's why
them.
he
But I'm
steals
like,
them.
bro, like, do y'all realize what they would have to do to erase anything that you've done?
And
It's
you're
like
already up there.
if
Just
I was LeBron James, I'm like, oh no, I don't want this person on my team. Like, do you know how good they would have to be in order
to get to your
to
level. They're just
and
starting
even
out.
if one day they were, you know how long it's gonna take them to get there? Like, come on, like people they have to be real. And I think that's a good point you bring up is that we see it in politics too, like trying to, muffle everybody. Like, I don't want anyone taking my spot. And they do all these corrupt different things just to hold the power.
Gerrymandering.
And it's like fresh ideas make the world go round. Like
Yeah,
that's why we
exactly.
love creativity, because that's I mean, again, there's been some creative thinking that's led to terrible things, but nonetheless, it was creative. So I'm just saying, like
No, I feel you. I'm
creativity
big
is
on that too.
creativity.
Just
Yeah.
and also one thing, I tend to do this a lot, and I'll just talk to myself first before I project. But one thing we tend to forget is um the process of creating. Like if you look at it and sit back
Mhm.
and actually look at it, before you made that thing, it didn't exist. You just
Exactly.
made something. And I think if people also just sit down and realize how powerful that was, they'd they'd be more into it. Like before you made that beat, there wasn't a beat like that. Or
True.
that
My
beat didn't
my
exist before
I'm
another
sorry to cut
person
you
could
off,
have.
Hassan,
Yeah.
but my philosophy is when you're creating, you're the closest you'll ever be to a God
Yeah.
or understanding God, literally.
Because you're bringing something out of nothing. It's coming from your brain and all the inspiration, all that thinking, and all. It's coming from you. So even if it's just a picture, yes, sometimes it's not tangible. Sometimes it's not actually like there and you can hold it. But
I am a god. Hurry up
no,
with
you're
my
not.
damn massage.
Where's my croissant? But no, just actually taking that into consideration. Like it happens to me when I go into a store. Let's say there's something like this. I sit there and I'm like, okay, so someone sat down and designed this and
Mhm.
went into production and actually became a thing. This came from someone's mind, and that's powerful. Just this container and like the
Exactly.
whole mechanism of it, it's beautiful. And I think as creatives, we should take time aside to appreciate ourselves for actually making that, because not a lot. There are a lot of people that are not creative, and not a lot
Yeah.
of people could
Well, you know
could
what?
add.
I feel that people believe they're not creative.
Oh, you,
And again,
yeah,
there's different levels of creativity. Like your creativity might not be
the same
being
as
able to create a product or, art or this or that. Maybe your creative ideas, how can we allocate the funds to help with this community?
a
And that
problem
might be
solving.
something, that's there's a sense of creative, creativity within that. And
Yeah,
I,
the
that's how
environment.
I think it is. So
Yeah. The haircut got you feeling wavy, innit? Can't even talk, huh?
For real. Another thing was like Picasso said like every child is an artist. Like the problem is
It's
how to
true.
remain an artist once we grow up. Because it's
Cause
like when you're young, I'm sorry to cut you off,
no,
but
no, go ahead.
when you're young, it's like you have such a big imagination, and then like, you know, well, adults start to like add structure to that and
And
like bring
then
you to like reality and what's
closure.
like the normality. And it's like I feel like everyone can be creative. It's just
Yeah.
like bringing it
mhm,
out and just like constantly practicing it. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing because creativity is a muscle. You just have to work it out.
Yeah. One
exactly.
of my favorite things to look at is the artist progression from like with drawing. You've ever seen those videos where they'll show the first ever like drawing they've tried to do, and then 10 years down the line is something phenomenal. It's like, see, it's I feel like it's something we could all acquire as well. We could all
Oh
just
yeah,
find a way. Cooking is even creativity as well. Like cooking is art. I'll
that's
just
a
throw that out there.
that's a
That's
fact.
another way to express yourself. So if you're out there and you're cooking and you love cooking, just hit me up. I'll come over and appreciate your art. It's art that could be eaten. So you know what I'm saying? We'll create a story and then
Trying to
I'll eat the
scam some
story.
free meals.
We'll create the story and then I'll eat the story.
And
Get your
dip.
picture and go off, but then I'll end up eating it. Oh, this conversation was great, man. We went at it for hours, man. It's 12:30.
Yeah. Well, we are now cured of our ego. We're free of that. No
Yeah,
insecurities. It's been
I.
great.
I'm still nah.
But that's another thing. You have to realize that like at every level, there will always be like
Mhm.
insecurities and other things you have to do. It's just like having the open mindset that you are willing to work through that, you know,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
just like keep progressing, you know, because
exactly.
eventually like yeah, not compare, but it's like just have like goals in mind, you know, like always just keep establishing goals and working towards
Hmm.
that.
And knowing that these problems will always arise and having your value system in check. And once that's set, I think it's easier to address these issues
Yeah.
and self-identify with them.
If it's not
And
one thing, it's gonna be
there's
another.
gonna be another.
Yeah.
And not freaking out when problems arise. Problems are a good part of life. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to have you
Some
think.
problems.
You can't
Because some of
eradicate all your
y'all coming out
problems.
of quarantine with these children, that's gonna be a new set of problems for you.
Hey, but
So
you're taking responsibility
but
for it.
how can
You
I
knew
get
what you
creative
did.
with that?
There's no creative way to evade child freaking.
I don't know, man. I was over there the first month. I don't know who was over there.
Yeah. DNA test, nigga. And it's yours. That nigga looks like you. What are you talking about?
All right, well,
Oh, damn, my child. Yes, it is, sir. You know
it's
what you
been
did.
real, y'all.
It's
It's
been real
been
for
real.
real. You
Thanks
guys
for
got
tuning
an
in.
insight into who we are today. Ugh. You got. Oh no! Don't listen to this episode. Oh
Oh
man,
man.
no, but for real, I actually really enjoyed this episode. This was fun, man. We went
Yeah,
off. We did our thing.
exactly. All right. Well, everybody out there, please continue to be safe. Um, take those measures. Don't be like
Yeah.
Texas. Don't be like Florida. But shout out to all my people in Texas
Protest
and
while
Florida.
social distancing as well.
Oh yeah. Just be
Yeah.
smart. Just be smart
Yo,
out
we out
there.
to Capitol Hill. We out. We could just go
Yeah.
do that sitting. Yeah,
Bet.
maybe sometime next week. At the
All right,
sun,
y'all.
going hiking. But yeah, don't
Peace.
forget
All
to
right, guys,
subscribe. Don't forget to
like,
comment
comment, and
below.
subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, link in bio, all that good stuff. But honestly, we appreciate anyone that watches this. All right, just subscribe, get us to 100 subscribers. We're started. We want to hit that milestone first, and then
Right.
proceed from there. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate every
Peace.
single one of you guys. On that note, peace.